Deadlines. Schoolwork, commission work, got to get to work, better get to work. We've all got them. I've got them. I've got them with our videos. I've got to get this out, and I dawdle all the time. I make everybody wait. I mean, everybody's here, to support me, but, we got deadlines, and I got to get through this. So I need to just move on and start talking about deadlines, okay? Let's not beat around the bush, okay? Let's just get into it. So deadlines, all right? This is something that's a common artist problem because not every artist, but a lot of artists are known for, not being as organized perhaps in some cases. I'm not trying to put anybody in a category, but if you struggle with organization, you might struggle with deadlines. If you struggle with keeping on task like I do, and I'm not going to say anything that I'm not part of, okay? We're all in this together. So this is just a real talk, just you and me, okay? Special time. Makes me feel good. Like warm and fuzzy. I can say that, right? Okay. But the thing is, art doesn't always lend itself to just powering through. It's one thing to say like, okay, well, I'm determined to get this done, but creativity doesn't work that way. Sometimes you're trying to get through a project, you have all the right intentions, but you're forcing it. And when you force it, you get all up in your head, all up in your business, and then it just doesn't happen correctly. And that can lead to artistic mistakes or artistic struggles. And I just want to help people out with some of the things that I have learned of myself. And maybe this will help you. Is that nice of me? I take the time? That's right. I care about people. Yeah, I care about you. So these are some things to consider when you're dealing with a deadline. The first thing and most important of anything is to know yourself. Know where you thrive. I mean, are you the most motivated when you're under the gun? Maybe you do need that motivation, like I have to get this done by tomorrow, and that drives you. That's like I don't know if it's like a type A personality thing or a personality thing. Some people just when they have that deadline and they have it up to the last minute, that's when they do their best work, and that's something that you have to know about yourself. That's definitely not everybody, but some people do better when they're under a time crunch. Basically, if you know that you need to get it done, you will kind of find that spirit if that's the kind of person you are. Now, there are a lot of people that aren't that way, okay, that can be overwhelmed. They can be overwhelmed by a big, daunting project, okay? And there are certain things that I can help you guys out with too, okay? Because I can get overwhelmed, all right? I'm overwhelmed right now, way overwhelmed. Very well caffeinated, uppers and downers and ups and downs. You need to ask yourself, how can I break this down into more manageable chunks, okay? And instead of having like, I've got 2 months to get this huge project down, well, maybe you can change that to, okay, I have 2 weeks to do my underpainting. I have 2 weeks to do my first glazes. I have 2 weeks to do my final finishing touches, and then I have 2 weeks until I have to varnish it. Breaking it down into more manageable pieces and smaller goals. So either way, you want to make a game plan for yourself and break it into smaller goals, okay? When I do push-ups in my head, instead of going, okay, I'm going to do 20 push-ups, I break them up into sets of 5. It's a mental thing. I seriously, I 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's actually harder because then I have to remember my times table is like, okay, that was my first set of 5 and I want to get to 20. But I guess it has something to do with the personality you have. Breaking stuff into sets of 5 for me helps me get through it. It doesn't seem quite as daunting of trying to count all the way to 20. That's hard for a lot of people. All right, I'm going to give you one last resort, okay? And this doesn't always work, but sometimes it's the kind of thing where if you don't ask, you don't get it. Depending on what the situation is in your deadline, ask for an extension. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if a school is necessarily going to offer it to you. I don't know if your client will necessarily offer it to you. I don't know if your job will necessarily offer it to you. You don't get an extension. Sorry, Will. But, you don't know until you ask. And one of the things that I think goes into asking for that extension is you kind of just say, to be honest, if I rush this, you're going to get rushed work. But if you give me the time that I need to create at my best capacity, you have more likelihood of getting a higher quality product in the end. So if you are working on something with a deadline for a client, if you do think you're going to need more time, the best time to bring that up is usually in the beginning. So if they say, I want to have this portrait and it's for a birthday in June, I guess that kind of ruins it because you can't ask for an extension. Art is usually best when it is unrushed and undaunted by things that are kind of bringing you down. When you get all up in your head thinking about the deadlines and you have to get it done. And I think that it's important that you know that it's okay to ask when it's reasonable. And if it's not, know yourself enough to know how you can break these things into more manageable pieces. You have to ask yourself what you can handle. For you, everybody's an individual, okay? We're all individuals here. You have to be honest with yourself, to ask yourself what you can handle. Ask for that extension. And also make sure you ask for me on Instagram at Mike Not Jerry, where I'm continuing to add things, original content just for you, behind the scenes, get to know my personal life, things that I really probably shouldn't share, I share at times. And you're always in my pants. If you're on Instagram, you're in my pants with me. That's where I keep him. I keep him in my little pocket of my phone there. It occurred to me that, as I do these plugs for at Mike Not Jerry, could you imagine if I worked at Michael's, how confusing this would be? Like, at Mike Not Michael's. Or, like, I could have, like, an identity crisis. I worked at, like, Jersey Mike's. Mike Not Mike. Like, at Mike Not Mike. No, it's Mike Not Jerry. Because this is Jerry's Aurorama.